Let's get some price picks in today, guys. Last night we came real close, not on this slip here. On college basketball, we went 3-3, but on the NBA slip I gave out, if I go over to the announcements, this is the one I gave out. There was one little tennis play here, and then the rest were NBA. Now, CJ McCollum, I said, ended up getting bumped. He was off the board at 3.5 rebounds. He cashed, but I said replace that with Zion on the under 5.5 assists. Of course, that cashed. He got only 4. So if you guys did tail, you would have got 5 out of 6 on this slip, 3 out of 3 on the college ball slip. So basically break even night, but so close to that 25x. Jimmy Butler could not pull through with the assist. So I'm pretty happy with that. 8 and 4 on the picks from last night. That is a very good hit rate. We'll get onto the board for today. I have a full 6-man slip for you guys. And I'll also tell you what to do with this LeBron James points prop here. We're going to throw him into the slip. And we're also going to make a slip without him. Just in case you guys already use this prop, I'm still going to give you a 6-man. And if you don't like the 6th guy, let's say, for example, you could replace him with this 0.5. So I'm going over to soccer just to start it off. I know not many people are going to understand soccer, just don't really care for it. So I'm just going to go over this very quickly and just show you the 2 picks here. So it's Elias Hernandez on the under 1.5 shots, and then Federico Vinas on the under 3.5 shots. I'm taking them because we did flag them as positive expected value plays on the OddsJuice dashboard. We could see about a 57% hit percentage on Hernandez under 1.5 shots, and then 55.5% here on Vinas. So those are going to be the first 2 picks. And these guys do play on the same team. So what that means is if their team is not doing very well, not getting a lot of offensive opportunities, they're both going to go under the shots, or they're both more likely to go under the shots together. So that's why we're grabbing them in the same entry. You could see Prizepicks even knows this. That's why they're giving a payout shift. Just see, once we build up the 6-man, it's actually not going to be payout shifted. It's just saying if you're going to keep stacking guys on the same team, then eventually you get a payout shift, meaning they know there's obviously an association between players from the same team, especially in soccer. That's going to be a nice little 2 guys to start off our entry with, and we're going to get into the NBA to end it off. And our next 2 picks are actually going to be from this Golden State game here. I'm loving this matchup for the picks we're about to take here. -2 spread towards the Lakers, 233.5 total. That's a pretty decent total, and that's a nice spread for us because we're going to be grabbing 2 overs in this case on the Golden State Warriors. Should be a tight game with a lot of minutes for these 2 specific starters. Let's get into the first one. It's going to be Steph Curry on the over 25.5 points. I'm loving this matchup for Curry. If you go ahead and check the Lakers positional defense versus the point guard position, they're about 8th in the standing, so 25.46 on average points allowed to this specific position. We're getting at 25.5. That translates over there nicely. The Lakers do allow a lot of points, and since they do, we're actually going to match this up with another Golden State player on Draymond Green on his over 18.5 PRA. Again, the same script kind of applies here. If we're expecting a lot of points, if we're expecting a tight game, we're going to see a lot of minutes and a lot more points for these starters, of course, being Curry and Draymond Green. So that's why I want both of these guys on their overs. We're not going to take one under, one over, because then we're kind of expecting, a different type of game state here. We want a nice tight game with a lot of minutes here. We're going for the overs on both these guys. Now, the one thing to consider is both these guys are actually questionable here. So Draymond Green listed questionable for Saturday, but Curry is officially questionable, but is expected to play because that's what Steve Kerr said. So I'm going to expect Curry to for sure play. And honestly, if Draymond doesn't play, it doesn't really matter. We're just going to revert down to that 5 flex, and it helps Curry's line. If Draymond is not in, Curry's going to have more opportunities to have the ball for himself, meaning he's going to get more points. His usage is going to go up. So I'm not too worried if Draymond Green doesn't play. If they both play, it's good. If only one of them plays, it's still good. The only problem is if both of them don't play, which I really doubt. So I'm not too worried about that. So that's why it's going to be Curry on the over points and Draymond Green on the over PRA. Make sure you're getting these exact lines, right? 25.5 and 18.5 PRA. Just so Draymond, for example, he might get bumped because we have him at 18.5 on Prizepicks. Sportspicks already have him at 19.5, so I could see a potential bump, especially if one of these guys are out. These lines are definitely going to get bumped, so make sure you're locking in the overs as soon as possible. Now, before we get into the last 2, I will say that if you do want to grab this half a point prop, I recommend replacing the soccer picks, and the soccer pick I recommend replacing is Vinas here. So he's just less likely to hit than Hernandez, so might as well keep Hernandez in. Take out Vinas if you still have your LeBron props, so grab him on the over half a point and just drop this Federico Vinas guy. So that's what I would go with this, and then I would take these next 2 picks that I'm going to get into right now. So to end it off, we're going to go over to this Knicks game. I'm loving this matchup, this time for the unders. So let's take a look at it on Bet365 here. We have a -3.5 spread toward the Kings. So we're not expecting a blowout or anything, but this is a super low pace matchup. 218 total is pretty low, compared to the Lakers game, we're at 233. Compared to 218, we could expect like 15 to 16 less points in this game compared to the Lakers game. The picks we're going to go with from this game are both going to be from the Knicks, and the first one is Hartenstein on the under 17.5 PRA, and then we're going to pair this up with Dante DiVincenzo on the under 4.5 rebounds. If we go ahead and take a look at the defensive matchups versus Sacramento, so Sacramento's pretty decent here on defense. I'm sorting by FanDuel fantasy points. Why? Because we're grabbing the PRA in this case. It doesn't exactly translate. Like FanDuel fantasy points still includes steals, blocks, and turnovers, but it is a pretty decent indicator of PRA too, because PRA is going to be a big component of fantasy score. And you can see they are about 7th in overall defense. So against points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks, turnovers, all that. And of course, we have Hardenstein on his under PRA. So that's good to see that they're a good defensive matchup. But also if we sort by rebounds, the Kings are pretty decent against that too. And of course, we're going with DiVincenzo on his under rebounds. Want to see less rebounds for both Hartenstein and DiVincenzo, and that's kind of the script we're going for. Maybe a store pace matchup. We're expecting the buckets to hit, but not a lot of buckets because we saw that low total. So that is going to be the full slip. Like I said, replace LeBron with Venus if you don't have this prop anymore.